Hello guys, welcome back. In this video I will show you 10 different settings and features that you can disable on your iPhone that will almost double the battery life of your iPhone. One of the most important aspects of each mobile device is of course the battery life. Whenever you want to get a new device, you always take a look at the battery and how much that battery will last. In today's devices and software updates and all that stuff, there are a lot of cool new features that are added. A lot of them actually are sometimes not that useful, but they do consume a ton of battery. You need to make sure that you have your device properly set up to get the most battery life that you can. If your device is getting just like 3 or 4 hours of battery time, then that's not good at all. You probably have a lot of settings enabled that you shouldn't have. Let me show you 10 settings that will improve your battery life by a really huge margin. First of all, we're talking about Apple Intelligence. If you have a device that does support Apple Intelligence, what I suggest you do is head onto your settings and go under Apple Intelligence and Siri right here. This is how I have it configured on my device. I have it completely turned off. Most people will probably very rarely use Apple Intelligence or its features on their devices. If you have a device that does support Apple Intelligence, but you find yourself not actually using those features, then just go ahead and turn it off. I had Apple Intelligence for a really long time now since it has been released on its betas, but I very rarely found myself actually using it, so I prefer to keep it off completely. Next up will be the lock screen. This thing I'm about to show you has actually been also suggested by Apple, and this is one of the settings that has been confirmed by Apple that it does consume battery, and that's the always on display. With iOS 26, you will have a few different things here. First of all, using the always on display will consume battery, and it even says it right here on the description. What you can do here is completely turn off the always on display. This will probably be the best option. If you just don't want to do that, if you just want to have that clock on your lock screen, then iOS 26 offers you to actually just remove the wallpaper. You disable it right here, show wallpaper, you keep it disabled. That way it won't show a wallpaper and keep your screen awake, it will just display the clock and the other things there. Basically, the screen will be black, so you have just a clock there and widgets if you have them enabled. Next up will be vibration, especially vibration for your notifications and also your keyboard. These will consume a ton of battery. I have disabled vibration on my device completely. I only keep it enabled for my keyboard. I know it will consume battery, but it just gives you a better feel typing and having that haptic feedback. What I suggest you do is actually go under Sounds and Haptics, and you will have a few options here, especially for notifications and all that stuff. You need to properly configure your haptics. Go right here under Haptics, and right here you can see I have it on Never Play, but I suggest you go ahead and choose another option if you don't want to miss any important notification, and choose here Play in Silent Mode. This will probably be the best option. Once your iPhone is on ringer mode, you don't get a vibration. Once it's on silent mode, you get the vibration. That way you get the best of both worlds, so you get the notifications, and on the other side, once it's on silent, you get the vibration. Next up, we're moving to the Mail settings. Head onto your Settings app, go to the Apps section, search for Mail, and then right here you need to go to your mail accounts. Right here under Fetch New Data, go ahead and just disable the push right here. This will consume a ton more data. What you can do is disable this, and then you will have the fetch here, so you can choose hourly or maybe even manually. If you don't want to bother with remembering having to refresh your emails, then you can just go ahead and choose hourly. That way it will preserve a ton of battery. Another setting that has been suggested officially by Apple when it comes to saving battery life is auto lock. It will save battery, but it will also be very good for the security of your device, because if you forget your device somewhere, you don't want it to stay unlocked forever, you want it to automatically lock. You can do that by going to display and brightness right here, and then here, you have auto lock. If you go here, you should have it at 1 minute or 30 seconds. That's probably the best option that you can choose. You don't need to leave it unlocked for more than that. 30 seconds probably is the best one. It's the shorter time, it will consume way less battery and your device will be way more secure. Even though it's a really old trick, the background app refresh is also very important. What I suggest you do here is go ahead and check the list of the apps one by one. There will be a ton of apps that don't actually need to be refreshing in the background. Go ahead and check this list right here, and what you need to do is make sure that you turn off as many apps as you can from this list. That way you're saving a ton of battery. By far one of the worst battery consumers will always be notifications. You get the notification, the screen lights up, you get vibrations probably, that way you're just consuming a ton of unnecessary battery. If you go right here on the notifications, I always suggest that you do use the scheduled summary. Go to the scheduled summary and place there as many apps as you can. You will know which apps you need to have immediate notifications from, which not. All the apps that are not that crucial, just go ahead and place them on the scheduled summary. You can set up a schedule summary for 2 times or 3 times a day, and you're good to go. When it comes to battery life, the cellular data will be one of the top things that will consume battery, especially when you don't have really good coverage. Especially if you're in an area where you don't have really good 5G coverage and you try to keep it on, that will actually drain the battery out of your iPhone because it's all the time trying to connect to 5G. That part right there, when the device is trying to connect but it cannot, that consumes the most battery. If you're in an area where you know that you don't have really good 5G coverage, just go ahead and select LTE or 4G. Here we have another one under the general settings, and that's AirDrop. Don't leave your AirDrop on all the time, make sure you just place it on receiving off. Most people won't actually need AirDrop all the time during the day. First of all, make sure you have turned off bringing devices together. That looks cool. Probably have tried it once and never used it again. Go ahead and turn off right here AirDrop completely until you need it. Another thing you should always do is make sure that you have your hotspot turned off. Especially if you're in a place where you know that there are a lot of devices that will connect, that you have probably connected before. If you have their Wi-Fi connection, make sure you don't leave your hotspot turned on because those devices might disconnect from the Wi-Fi and connect to your device. That way they're consuming battery, but at the same time they're consuming your data. Make sure you only turn on personal hotspot when you actually need it. That's basically it for this video. These are 10 settings that I believe will almost double the battery life of your device if you have actually configured them the right way.